Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Jamie and I'm from Live Love Maplewood, and I have here with me Lydia Johnson and Noah Brauner, and they are from South Orange, and we are going to chat about the incredible work that they are doing, which is just amazing. When I saw this story, I was like, what is this? So they are building intubation boxes for area hospitals. And we're going to hear all about that, and we're going to hear how it works and why they're doing this, and possibly if we can help. So, hi guys. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. So let's just get right to it. So tell us first, what is an intubation box? For those who might not know what that is, these are all new terms that we've all learned over the last 6 weeks or so, and just kind of get us up to speed. Like, what is this? How did it come to be? All that good stuff.
Okay, well, the intubation box is a box that fits over the patient during the intubation process. Apparently, during the intubation process is especially dangerous for medical personnel with the spread of infection. So without the box, they cover the patient in plastic, and it seems pretty bad for the patient, bad for the medical staff. So this box is something that just fits over the patient, and there's one behind. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That has handholds for the physician to manipulate the tube and be protected while it's happening.
Wow.
And I came about it. I got an email from Eileen Neary at Achieve. I was on a post about, what builders and people who make stuff. Here's something that's possible. And the first link was about MIT developing these ventilators for backyard tinkerers to build. And I tinker. I have a shop and I build stuff. And I teach at the high school too. I teach CAD there. So I'm affiliated with Achieve through that. And at first we were seeing these ventilator kits were pretty high tech and something that would be hard to turn around in the time frame. And also a medical device has to work. It has to be approved. You can't just say, oh, wow, I have this device that works some of the time. It's life and death. So there was some back and forth with Andy Byrne. He was on that link, and he sent me a link to intubation boxes that said that might be something else. And I looked at that, and there's a site where people are sharing plans, and there's a place in Arizona that's sending out kits. So there's drawings. I got the dimensions and said, oh, I'm all over that. I could build that.
Right away, you knew that was something that you could do.
That I could do, yeah. So I started, sourced out material and built a couple. And we figured, all right, we'll buy some material. We'll buy 15, and that'll be it. And that was a couple of weeks ago, where it just finished number 72. Wow. And they're all spoken for. So we're going. We're building them as the need arises, and we have more material coming. And we just want to, keep on going and build ourselves out of business is our goal, to just we'll just keep on building until the need dissipates.
So Noah, did you have these supplies on hand when you first when you first saw this idea, or did you have to, source the supplies? How did that work when you first got started?
Well, I have a shop. I have a shop fabrication. I build furniture and such. So the shop is pretty well equipped. The materials I had to source, and at first it was tough to find, and we found a place that my usual vendor for materials didn't have any, so found a place in Jersey City, and we basically bought out their stock. So the next shipment is coming from Maine, so we just sort of just sourced it, and
you've received donations to cover the costs.
Well, I've been so generous. It's really living in a community like this is really inspiring. Right. Show your last video. And Jay and Brandon, just, people just stepping up, being responsible citizens. It's just, it's great.
It is. It really is. So how do you, well, first of all, how long do they take to make? What's the process of can you show us one? Do you have one?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to move so I can do the camera for him. So
I want to know, Lydia, what's your role? You have to tell us.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Here's the box.
Can you see him?
Now, this is an acrylic box. This is protective film. They get scratched and dusty. So this peels off. So
can you bring it a little bit closer, Noah?
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
this peels off. This is clear. This is just to protect it for shipping. And
Right.
here,
Okay.
here are the handholds, and it's open in the back so that it would fit. If I can go turn it this way.
Yeah.
Right, so the patient fits over, lying down, and the physician, I'll just put here to the table, is like this.
Okay. Got it.
Well, so this is clear, obviously, and they're looking through, and this is our second version. This is the second iteration. The ones from the internet had circles, and we got some feedback from local physicians that that they needed more space to work here, so I could make them ovals.
Wow. So did hospitals have any of these prior to you guys distributing these and producing these? Were these something that was in
I
existence?
don't think so. I think this is sort of new to COVID-19. I think, I don't know. I just like, I just leave it at the door of the hospital.
How long does it take you to make one?
They're getting quicker. They're getting quicker. The first batch took like 15 to like a week and a half, and now if I'm methodical because it's the same thing over and over. I have like I get 6 in a day.
Wow. And is anyone helping you, or are you doing this all yourself for the hands-on work?
I'll come in, but it's a small shop, and it's impossible to social distance.
Right.
So that you have, I have there, and I had, a friend of mine who came in and worked one day. I was here, he was there, and it was just like.
Right. You were like trying not to bump into each other. Wow. That's incredible. So Lydia, tell us a little bit about what your role is.
Well, in the beginning, Noah was starting to get these designs and building them. And some of the original people he spoke to were hoping to find hospitals where, he could place them. And it seemed like a couple of those contacts didn't work out.
Okay.
So I thought, well, let me use the social network that I have from the dance company and the school. And I just started to post pictures of his building and what was happening. And then people started to step up and volunteer to drive. And they would contact me with doctors and nurses.
Wow.
Some of the stories, Jamie, are so touching.
Yeah.
You can see on the page we had a woman, Cheryl Weiss. I'm sorry if I forget people's names, but she has a friend who's a nurse who volunteered to be on the intubation team in a hospital in DC. And Cheryl, who lives in Maplewood, was very worried about her friend. So she said, well, can I get one for this DC hospital? And I said, well, you can have one, but we can't really drive to DC right now because it'll slow Noah down. So she drove halfway and met her nurse friend. And there's pictures of them in the parking lot handing them off.
We'll have to post that picture for sure.
Yeah, it's, and Dr. Wendy Chan, who lives in Maplewood and works overnight shifts, even though she has 2 children. I have a post of a text she sent me early that said she had just worked a 12-hour shift and they had done 14 intubations. And could she come over? In fact, she was one of the doctors that Noah's referring to. Robin Weiner Miller, whose husband works in an ER at NYU, had told us perhaps the ovals would be better. And then Wendy Chan came over to our front yard and, tried them to see if that was working. So my job has basically ended up being scheduling, which is complicated with volunteers driving, how many the hospitals need, contacting people in the hospitals. And it's great. It's a great division of labor because it leaves Noah, who's really doing all the hard work, free to build.
Well, it's all hard work. I mean, if it's a team effort, really, because if left to my devices, I'd have 72 boxes in the garage saying, does anyone need them? Maybe I put up a sign on the social and it's all sort of like not my forte.
You guys seem to make a great team. I mean, there's many different roles, so that's great.
Yeah, and it's been meaningful to do something. I feel grateful. I think Noah has said this too, that it's so hard to sit in quarantine and not be able to do something.
Right.
Early on, I did reach out to Jake Ezzo, and then he put me in touch with Heather Brochan. And it's funny because some of these people who've been stepping up turn out have children that are studying dance at our little school at Bergdorf. So it's
Oh,
just
cool.
such a part of the SOMA
There's
community.
a lot of, right, so many connections and a lot
Yeah.
of overlapping.
Yeah.
Wow. So how many more do you think you'll make, or do you have any sense of, you know, how long the need will go on for, or additional facilities that might need them?
Good question. It's a good question because we sort of have to. The first time we bought the 15, and we went the first batch we just went and dropped them off, and it was really moving. It was like
Where was the first batch dropped off to?
Teaneck.
Okay.
People are incredibly grateful, and you hear, you know there's chaos and pandemonium inside, but you go outside and it's pretty calm, and
Right.
and people come out in protective garb.
Well, Teaneck was where one of the first clusters were.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're really
Holy
good.
Name, Holy Name Hospital.
Right.
So as far as figuring out the need, we have to just jump ahead and buy some material, and then as we were driving on that first batch, Lydia just kept on getting like, we need more, we need more. So we kept on calling the vendor, and he was like, would you guys figure out how much you need? Because we changed it, and he was getting. Yeah. First we wanted 3, and then finally we went up to 15 sheets of 5x10, which yields 3. And that, as I said, that vendor's finished. So we have stuff coming from Maine. We have 20 sheets, which will yield about 50. So we have 50 more. So total 72, and 50 is the goal.
So if a facility where a nurse or a doctor is watching this and says that would be, I need one, how does that work if somebody, would like to reach out to you?
Well, the best thing is I've put my personal email on both the new Facebook page, which is SOMA Intubation Box Project.
Okay.
My own, as well as SOMA Lounge, which was so incredibly helpful.
Okay.
So my email is probably the best thing to do. Some people message me. It's harder for me to keep track of messages.
Okay, we'll put your email when we post the video. We'll be sure to include that.
Great. And as soon as I email someone, then we've been exchanging cells, and it's really easy for me to keep track of what's happening on a cell. And then we figure out, usually they have to go back to their hospital or their doctor or their nurse and figure out how many they really need. Sometimes I think people think they're a smaller object. So Noah has a really nice technical drawing that we'll send, and then the doctors and nurses can really understand what this is.
Okay.
And as Noah said, the gratitude is almost heartbreaking. You drop them off and people are just over. You can see in the pictures the joy of the staff when they get these.
That must feel so good. You guys are making such a difference.
Well, it's nice to make a difference.
So. You feel kind of sitting here and everyone in our bunkers. But
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people, you guys are amazing for going above. I mean, this is truly above and beyond. This is on another level. So, I mean, the hours and the time and the energy that you're putting into this is amazing.
Well, thank you, Amy.
So, I mean, truly. So if people watching this also maybe would like to help, maybe they either want to, make a drive for you and drop them off, or they have, a few extra dollars that they want to contribute. What do you think is the best way for them to do that?
Probably the same thing. If they want to email me, if they look at the Facebook pages, or if we put my email on, then
Yep.
So many people
put your email on, and there's also a way to donate possibly if they want to donate.
Absolutely, we would appreciate that. I think we've covered through incredibly generous donations. I think the acrylic has been about $6,000 so far.
Okay.
No one's donating time and labor. We just want to cover that acrylic if possible.
Okay.
So going forward, it would be great to build up a little fund. So as we get this next shipment, and at some point, sadly, it might not be possible to get acrylic for forever, because apparently it's being used in a lot of things, barriers, and this last shipment, as Noah said, he was building, and I spent time online and found a place that has some in Maine. So they're sending it. So we'll see. So we bought enough to go ahead a little bit. So it's a little bit like how far ahead we buy, because I'm afraid they're going to run out.
Right.
So,
okay. Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you for all your amazing efforts, and just deciding that this was even going to be something that you were going to do. Because I think it, very easy not to, but you decided that you wanted to, and I think that's amazing. And you're both very, active members of our community, which is really special. And I think that people, really appreciate what you're doing. So I'm glad we can get the story out and we can spread awareness and hopefully get you some of those donations and just kind of general, you're very inspiring, and maybe it will inspire, someone else in our community to do something good. So
thank you, Jamie, and
Thanks,
thank
Jamie.
you for this, because this will help us a lot. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.